with this being the first podcast, we're very nervous. I'm very nervous
Can you
anyway.
tell?
I shouldn't speak for Echo. I don't know. Echo, do you have anything? Any last words before we say more words?
Leroy Jenkins.
Oh, let's go then. And we're podcasting now.
It's official.
That was easy. All right. So let me say our intro. Welcome everyone. This is the first episode of the Simple Exposure Media podcast. I say media with a question mark because I don't know if I'm into that or not. But this is a place where a couple of small streamers, myself and Echo Cave, down in that corner, are here to talk about our personal projects, content creation, gaming, and anything else that we care about. I am Spooky Deer, Twitch streamer, as you can see, chronic doom scroller on Twitter, and I am a one-hit wonder TikToker. Hashtag boomer.
And I am Echo Cave, Twitch streamer, photographer of many things, and Pathfinder in training. Hashtag hash browns.
Hashtag hash browns. Let's go, buddy. So this is the inaugural, yes, the inaugural S.E.M.P. S.E.M.P. Where are my simps at in chat? This is this is something that we've been meaning to do for a long time. I don't know. Echo's been harassing me to start a podcast for how long?
I'd say at least a year or two. Like around the time that we were starting Simple Exposure Media to begin with.
Right.
Like that's why I originally was like, hey, I don't want simple exposure photography or video or whatever else. I wanted media specifically for the fact that we can branch out to other
Right.
other things that's not just photography related.
That's right. We wanted to keep things well rounded. And who would have thought that, we would end up then essentially in a pandemic where photography would take a nosedive, that I would move and that I wouldn't be like your photography partner. So having this media umbrella that we're working under, it can fit the streams, it can fit the just like the content creation
Everything.
side of thing, everything. It's fantastic. The Samps. I am hoping that was a Mr. Krabs laughed Oscar. Yes. This is what we're doing. So our shtick as two more white guys with a podcast now, is that we want to have this live engagement. And this is why we record this live on Twitch. You can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/spookydeer with an underscore and some zeros in it. You can find Echo, twitch.tv, Echo_Cave. And yeah, I think the hope is we'll record this live, but then we're going to obviously keep everything for posterity and trying to figure out how to even do that. I don't know. Apparently it's easy. Apparently anyone can have a podcast if they want, which is why we're doing this. Lol, white guys with a podcast. We're self-aware.
Yeah, we know what we are.
We know what this looks like. We have no illusions. Drinking craft beer. I don't know if I would go so far as to call this craft beer.
I don't know. Is mine considered craft beer?
Yours is a craft beer. If yours is nitro in it, somebody took some care into making it. I'm drinking a Rolling Rock, like someone's dad. Like I should be sitting in a garage, like watching sports.
And we could do that too.
No, I hate sports.
Fair
Sorry, everyone. There go, and then all the other white dudes that listen to podcasts just stop listening. Right then. Into punk music, nut. Yeah.
It's okay. We'll get some middle-aged white guys listening here soon, I'm sure.
Will we?
With some of the other topics? Maybe.
At what point do we become the middle-aged white guys? Because I'd say we're getting pretty damn close.
We're close. We are
canceling
close.
My subscription. You're locked in, man. You can't cancel now. But yeah, so like the intention of this is to give ourselves some space and like open room to like talk about all sorts of stuff that we want to talk about. And man, there's a whole bunch of stuff. Yo, Hollow Points, thank you for the hydrate or dihydrate. You're getting
and
2 for 1s
the
tonight.
exclamation weakness.
And the exclamation weakness.
He got
Love to
death,
see
by
it.
the way.
Are you going to be into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Tool, and Bald soon? No, Joe Rogan's too thick and too full of red meat for me. But I understood. I understood that reference. But yeah, so
Good. At
like,
least one of us did. I did not.
you know, I'm chronically online. What can I say? If I ever lose this luscious head of hair, we're in trouble. But yeah, I've got a whole outline of stuff that we wanted to talk about for our first podcast. Speak of the devil, Lord Gingersnap balancing out all the cancellations for me talking shit about Joe Rogan. Thank you for the subscription, my brother.
There you go.
Take my free sub. You're a G. Thanks for giving us those Bezos bucks. So I think first things first. Let's talk more about the content creation side of things. I'm already going off. I'm going off the
Yeah.
rails for the order that we had this in.
Oh, I see. You're just highlighting stuff now.
I'm going to highlight what we're talking about now. Like I'll delete it or cross it out so that we don't accidentally fall
Okay,
back
first
to
and
it.
foremost, before we start any further on anything else, can I just
No.
advocate for Google Docs? Like,
Oh,
this is wonderful. This is an
please,
amazing tool.
please sponsor us, dude. I do everything in my like day job, registered trademark. The thing that keeps, the lights on so that I can do this for you guys is it's all in Google Docs, and it's like
Yep.
it's life changing. Like just to be able to like immediately see changes and collaborate like this has made
Mhm.
this a lot easier. You have to switch to
I'm
Stadia then? No. Next question.
Mm.
No, the first thing I want to talk about, as I mentioned in my introduction, is that I am currently a one-hit wonder TikToker.
Yep.
And because I'm really clever for the YouTube recording of this, I'm going to overlay what I'm going to talk about next. So you don't have to look at our faces the whole time, but all of you here are stuck with us. So I made a TikTok a while ago, trying to
love it.
trying to branch out, as we're constantly told to do, with being like, Twitch has no discoverability. So as small creators, we need to put content on other platforms, which I swear on my life I'm trying to do.
Whether it's Twitch or not Twitch, TikTok or YouTube or Twitter, that was the one I was trying to think of. Facebook, any of those. You need something that's not I was gonna say
That's
Twitter.
not just
it.
Twitch. Get it together.
Yeah.
We're fucking live, dude.
Too many T words. I'm sorry.
But yes, so in my efforts to branch out, and maybe take this with a grain of salt because it is a small sample size, especially for how massive TikTok has become. I made one Minecraft TikTok. It's not normal. Like I stream Minecraft with Echo occasionally. I was just kind of like, a funny thing happened where he showed me a way that he digs his tunnels that I've never seen before. And it's the trippiest thing that I've ever seen in my life. Like he digs like complete optical illusions, and I was shocked and appalled. So I took that clip and I made a TikTok out of it. And not even overnight, like weeks after I posted it, it just started exploding. Like I don't have notifications turned on for TikTok, and I'm glad I don't, because my phone would have exploded.
It'd be a disaster.
But we are currently in this moment. Let me take a look. Sitting at 91,400 views.
And that's
And just
insane for one of us.
for what it was. It's like it was just absolutely bonkers. Almost 10,000 likes. And the funny thing is it's like I've continued to like, I've been posting more. It's interesting, but I find it funny because it's like I haven't had a single like solid conversion yet. 91,000 people laid eyes on that TikTok. I have my Twitch pop up on the screen during the clip. My like links are in my bio. Like I try to have everything connected and try to make it really obvious. 91,000 people laid eyes on that, and I haven't seen anything for it. I've had other ones, everything else sits around like 200, 300 views, which is still really good. That's really, really good for me because we have no idea what we're doing, right? Like I'm just making stuff. I'm just like posting it and hoping for the dopamine to hit. And I don't know. It's interesting. Like it it's one of those things of like being a small creator that I like struggle with is like everyone can like sit on their soapbox, you know, like the Harris Hellers and like whoever else are just like, you have to do all this stuff to be found on Twitch and to grow on Twitch. And I'm like, right. But like,
They're not wrong.
they're not
But
wrong. But I'm also
but
I'm one person who's working a full-time job to do this. And like, I feel like
mhm.
there's some sort of disconnect. And maybe that's like the niche that I need to step into is like, how do you even attempt to begin doing this when you are working 40 to 50 hours a week and have like a family or like a significant other or all these other things that are like taking a pull on your time. And I don't know where I'm going with this, but it's just like, to me, it's irksome that like it's packaged and sold like it should be this like easy, like, oh, obviously just make YouTube videos and make TikToks and, you know, start cashing
Yeah.
checks. And I'm just like that.
And and when you're working that full-time job and you got you have significant others, you have family, you have pets, you have stuff opening up now, so you want to go out and do stuff, and anything video and audio related, it takes literally forever to get
Forever.
anywhere on. And you don't have the time and you got to sacrifice something.
Right.
And
So it's
even
like, what do
then,
you start
there's no
dropping?
guarantee.
Right.
Yeah. And
And
then
it
mm-mm.
feels ridiculous because when we aren't making a living doing this, it's like how do you justify the time to anyone else? You're like, oh, I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna work on this for like 5 hours. It's like, and accomplish what? You know, it's crazy. It's crazy.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Ginger Snap. That's a really good point. Full time content creators don't live in a different world compared to a person who. Oh, they don't. They do live. They do live.
They
Correction.
do live.
Full-time content creators do live in a different world compared to a person who works 40 hours average and can't keep a pulse on the trends. Right. Like yeah, that's the other thing is like when they're like make YouTube, make YouTube videos, make TikToks, but then also anticipate what is going to be a trend.
And
Again,
I can't
I
do
have
that to save my life.
right. I have gray hair. I can't like know like that, you know, like whatever's going to pop off next. Like I really just feel like I'm stumbling around in the dark, and that's it's honestly been a lot of fun. Like I don't want to get like I'm ragging on doing this because I wouldn't keep doing this if I didn't love it. But
Yeah.
it's just like it gets discouraging sometimes because there are people who have already made it who are like saying, "Hey, Spooky Deer, hey, Echo Cave, you know, you could pop off so easily if you just did all these things right, and if you bought my book, and if you like attended my seminar,
Right?
come to my seminar." You know, it's just like I disagree, but
No. No. I think I'm just gonna sit here, start my podcast, and just BS with one of my best friends since forever.
fuck yeah,
And whoever else wants to join us,
we're
come
happy to
on
have
by.
you. We're happy to have you. Yeah, so that's my let me scam you. That's exactly it, Ginger Snap, and like you know,
And that's why they're successful.
right. I mean, man, I'm just happy. I'm just happy to be doing this. It's like how incredible to like, as long as you have like, you know, the equipment and the time, like anyone can do this kind of stuff. And I think that's what's like beautiful and terrifying about this kind of thing. But
Yep.
we're just like welcome, free, and able to like make stuff happen in a way that we could have only dreamed about when we were kids, right? Like when we wanted to
Right.
open up like our Pokemon card shop or whatever. Yeah, what's Rogers
It's
have to
been
say here?
an absolute.
Yeah, let's see. If you can make 100 videos and only have 1,000 views, while the algorithm of social media can have someone who makes 5 videos get 1 million views. That shouldn't keep you from enjoying your creativity. Discouraging at times, but should still be a joy. And that's absolutely it. That's absolutely it, Rogers. Like, I don't want to lose sight of the fact that I choose to do this because, like, I just like I like hanging out with Echo. We live 800 miles apart. This is an easy block time where I can maintain like one of my oldest friendships, and then I also get to share, you know, experiences and laughs with you know anyone who decides to drop in, and that's really cool. And I think that that's a really unique thing that Twitch offers, and you know, just kind of
Like a good example of this is we were playing Minecraft last week, right?
yeah,
That was last week.
Valheim last
And
week,
all of
right? regardless, continue. I'm sorry.
Anyway,
Shut up, Spooky.
whatever the situation was, we were playing Minecraft. I know that. And Spooky's like, hey, what's everyone's favorite hot sauces? And he's
Oh
like,
yeah.
you have these, this, and this. And just out of nowhere, some random person, the
The
hot
lady of
sauce
hot
lady,
sauce. The
lady
lady
of
of
hot
hot
sauce,
sauce.
she's like, I have been summoned.
It
And
was
like, you can't make this stuff up. And it was
fucking
great.
wild. Fucking wild. It was absolutely wild. Yo, I am the man. Thank you for asking that question. That is a really good question. Even
Question.
if this is really interesting. Even if either streaming or content creation, if it did pop off, would you still keep your full-time job?
Me in particular, I'd say absolutely not. Um, because that would give me more time to work on this stuff. I also do photography on the side. I have some other announcements that I would want to get to that
Right.
I'd be able to put more time into with that stuff and make that more of an audio related thing too. Um, so if I could, I'd do this stuff full time. It's just it's hard to balance everything. Uh, yeah.
Yeah. And it's interesting because it's like I think that a lot of people that enter into this space and you see other people being incredibly successful. And now content creators are starting to be more transparent about the kind of money that they bring in, which I think is really, really helpful. I think everyone should talk
Mhm.
about the money that they make because all it does is level the playing field for those around you. But I digress. For me personally, if things were to pop off, I don't think that I would go full time, at least not right away, because I'm inherently a risk adverse person. And as we've been seeing with how platforms can just decide to demonetize or shadow ban or whatever it is, your income can be really, really directly threatened. So I would want to make sure before I did that I was able to get myself established in multiple spheres. So it's like, have the live stream, have, be monetized and be generating revenue on YouTube, just kind of getting those things lined up. I would not rush into just like, I would not just like quit my day job. My day job, while it's nothing special, also treats me really well. Like I have amazing benefits. I have, you know, a stable income that allows me to do this. I don't have to work 2 jobs, 3 jobs to just kind of like make ends meet. So I think I would be really cautious about doing it. Does it sound amazing? Totally. It sounds awesome. I'd go crazy to be able to, in a good way, I'd go crazy to do this as a career, but that seems unlikely.
It
it seems
seems very
unlikely.
far away
Someone
at this
send this
point.
recording to me in 3 years when things have changed. But Rogers, you're exactly right. It's just scary
Yep.
that you're very powerless in what can happen to like even so like one of my favorite content creators, YouTubers, Twitch streamers, Pastilli actually had this happen. I think like 2 months ago, 3 months ago. He woke up one day and the YouTube algorithm had incorrectly flagged his channel for inappropriate content and
Yeah.
completely deleted his entire channel. And it took him like 2 or 3 days to like finally talk to a real person to get everything put back how it was. And then even after that, it took him another
Still took
month
a
or
hit.
two to build back to where he had been. Like he saw his income drop significantly. And like he was in a position, like he's established enough that it didn't kill him, but it hurt really bad. And it's just like, imagine, if you were, you know, an eighth of his size.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But no, I definitely agree. That's kind of where I'm sitting too. But if everything lined up, yes, I would love to do this full time.
right. Yeah,
And my photography stuff, actually, the photography is the biggest thing for me. It would allow me to have more of that and do more photography related stuff, which then I could put back into simple exposure media.
absolutely. And that's actually what I would like to talk about next. Because, content creation, I think these days, so often it's considered to be purely digital. You're providing like an entertainment of sorts, whether you're making a video that someone watches once or anything like that. But as Echo's referenced, he is, in my opinion, as the person who taught him photography, he's an incredibly gifted photographer, and he's been doing some really interesting work. So I would like for you to speak to that, and just kind of tell me, like, what are your plans? Like, what are you working on in these next couple months, like with the photography side of things, especially now that COVID has things opening back up?
Yeah, good question. I am actually just today's Tuesday. Sunday, I ended up doing a family shoot with an old friend of mine from college. She and her family have worked with me a couple times before. One of those times being actually Thanksgiving one year, and they actually let me sit down and have supper with them
I
that
remember
day.
that. That's cool.
Yeah. So I'm in the process of editing those photos. Um, and I had a couple other people. I ended up missing. Uh, there was a Viking, or not Viking, like a fantasy like Renfest type shoot over this last weekend, also this last Saturday, which I missed. But there was a handful of people that really missed me from the Viking shoot from
Oh
like
yeah.
March. And I told him, hey, sorry, I wasn't able to make it. Let's do something, because they reached out to me. And I'm like, I would love to have the opportunity to work with anyone. And cosplay stuff is one of my favorite things to work with, period.
Which I think it's a great, that's such a cool niche. Like, that's something that, I don't know, our work differs pretty significantly when it comes to photography. I think it's incredible that you've like found your way into the like cosplay community, and you've been doing some like really amazing work. I don't know. I just think it's neat because it's something that you really like, and it falls in line with other interests such as gaming,
Yep.
whether it's video games or tabletop games. Like, you have a plethora of people to work with and things that are inherently inspiring. It's like, why do we like video games in the first place? And like, here's a way to make that come to life.
Be even
A
more
little
a part
bit.
of those games.
Right.
My first anime con I went to, I can't wait to go to another one. They're so much fun. There are these two guys in particular, uh, Master Chief and Master Chief. I'm just gonna say Master Chief Red Suit. Um,
Sure.
but there was a green one and a red one, and their outfits were amazing. And you'd see them go up on stage, and they're doing just the whole fun pose, like combat poses and stuff, and it like brings back memories of Halo 1 and 2 and just how awesome that was. And these guys, you could hear them with their walkie-talkie stuff like in their helmet, and it projected out of their chest because
Oh,
they have
that's sick.
speakers. And like everything was legit, and it was fantastic. And that's just two people that I met.
You're right. Dude, cosplayers are a different breed. Like, the stuff that they make, like the
Mhm.
creativity and like just the level of craftsmanship that these people have access to is wild. It's like, you have your like budget cosplayers, and like some of them do it ironically and they like make everything out of cardboard. But like the ones that are like 3D printing like working Iron Man suits and stuff, like I'm just like, holy crap. Like, I thought I had expensive hobbies, and then you look at like what it takes to build a suit of like Spartan armor or whatever. Wild. Absolutely wild. We had talked about this pre-podcast, not today, but just
Mhm.
like, in our lives in general. So you have a print shop that you
Yes.
built and launched recently, and I'd asked you
Do
at
you want me
that
to
point,
bring it
and
up?
I would love if you did. I would love if you put the
Yep.
link either in your chat or my chat, whatever.
Um,
Oh, and
yeah,
on your
it's
and
just
on your screen.
exclamation photo, I think, right?
That's right.
Or
Nope.
photos?
We're still learning.
There we
There you
go. Exclamation
go.
photos.
Let me copy that link and
So,
throw it in my chat everywhere as
yeah.
well. So the reason I bring this up, one, plug for my buddy. He has some amazing work, and these are mostly like landscapes and everything that would make a nice feature in your home. Um, But also, I had asked you at the time, and I was wondering, have you talked with any of the models that you work with about putting cosplay work in your print shop?
I haven't gotten to that point yet. I got these up. I wanted to just kind of test the waters and see how people reacted to this. Now that it's kind of out there, I want to print some sample stuff for myself. My wall is blank, and I think it'd be super cool if I got any of these up there. Um, and then once that happens and I feel more confident, I would love to get there's a handful of images in particular that I'm thinking of that I would love to post
Right.
as an opportunity for this.
Figure out like a kickback opportunity, because it's like, obviously I think, the models aren't trying to do this for free either. And if you could work it out in a way where
Right.
it's like a percentage goes to them, you're not only you're supporting yourself, you're building a reputation for your own work, and helping out those that are giving you the art essentially to work with as well. JV Dubs, OnlyFans when?
So speaking of,
I was gonna say I have something on that note as well, and don't get anything in your sick little minds about it.
yeah.
But please.
So when you were talking about having kickback and stuff for the models, I'll let them do whatever they want to do with those. And I do know that some of them have like a cosplay OnlyFans or whatever, because it's not all about the sexy bikini stuff. There are people that do it strictly just for like cosplay and like whatever else.
And this is exactly what I was gonna talk about. Is like, I I was so stunned. I saw a YouTube ad for OnlyFans, and it was like probably like the most like cognitive dissonance that I've felt, just because it's like, I think everyone at this point has an association with OnlyFans. It's where you take pictures of your butt and strangers give you money for said pictures of your butt. But this commercial on YouTube was like, it was like, oh yes, if you're a painter, put your paintings on your OnlyFans. Like, and I couldn't deal with it, because it was just like, this, nobody does that. And like, no one is doing that. Like, this clearly means next episode will be from a hot tub. No. If my apartment didn't have carpet, and if it was easier to move this setup, I would absolutely make a goal to do a hot tub stream. I wouldn't do it for free, because it might be the last thing I ever do in this career, but I would do it. I like hot tubs. I like hot tubs as much as the next person.
Yeah.
I think. Do you like hot tubs?
Normally, unless it's hot outside.
Oh, that's like, yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
So like,
the best
you're
is
boiling
hot tub in the
already,
winter.
yeah, there you go. That would be the goal, is to do like a razor for you to get a hot tub and then sit in that in the winter.
Right.
There you go.
Kind of like how GoFundMe went from an endearing, positive community of helping those in need to become a cesspool of people whining for things. No.
Yeah.
GoFundMe became the American healthcare system. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Like, the biggest failing is that like GoFundMe stopped being for like, the occasional nice thing. And it's just like paying people's hospital bills, because of course they can't do that otherwise, because everything's jacked up. But I will not stand on that soapbox here.
We try to stay away from that stuff as much as we possibly can.
I don't know why though. It's my stream. I can talk about whatever I want. But
it's just, I know that people get heated about silly things, and that can cause other people to do stuff. And
exactly. We'll leave it for a different time. Maybe we'll have a special
edition.
You and I talk about politics for 2 hours, and we'll see who's
actually
left.
Might be kind of fun.
Sheesh, I don't know. Maybe not live. Maybe we won't do that one live. We might record that one on its own.
Off a side note, that's fair.
Dibs on guest. Actually, Dubs is a very reasonable middle ground kind of person. And frankly, I would just love to have you on the show, regardless, because we have a show now. You see?
Yeah, that's right.
We'd love to have guests. I'll have to remake this overlay to fit guests in, but it'd be
They
really
can, they
cool.
don't need an overlay. They can just have audio. It's fine.
I like looking at people's faces. Anyway,
Mm,
oh, S.E.M.Ps. Yeah, so many
that's
S.E.M.Ps,
right.
Rogers Academy.
Hashtag Semps.
Hashtag S.E.M.P Simps. We're gonna make it a thing. We're gonna make it a thing.
So it is
Let's
going
see.
to be Simple Exposure Media Podcast.
I think so. I think it has to be. It has to be because of that. I'll take the
Mhm.
question marks out of my next intro.
Okay.
Let's see. I'm trying to think of a way to segue to what I want to talk about next.
I'm waiting for you to just highlight something.
Yeah, right. What's it gonna be? What are we gonna talk about? I
Mm.
think I would like to talk about. We kind of touched on this already, but I would like to
Yeah.
dive more into what I want to be a recurring segment of this, which is the state of the stream.
Yeah.
And I want it to be more of like I don't a peek behind the curtain. Maybe I feel like as I talked earlier about like wanting there to be more transparency with, you know, how streaming and content creation is going. I feel like so often we all put on a, like a mask or a guise of I'm having fun and this is easy and everything's great and like there's almost like a character that you play. Like obviously, like I try to be as true and genuine as I can with this whole thing, but I think it just would be interesting to speak more honestly about what we're doing, what we're planning, things that we want to improve or are trying to improve, that kind of stuff. Where that I feel like there often isn't like a look into that. Like you're kind of like wondering like how is someone actually feeling about their how they're doing, and things like that. So I can go first. You can go first.
Yeah.
You tell me.
No. Uh, you know what? I'll go first.
He'll go first. Take it
I'll
away.
go
Take it away,
first.
Echo.
You have more content to kind of go over, so I'll go first. So state of the stream, at least in my case. Um, as my followers know, I've been cutting down. So I cut my weeks basically in half. I used to do Tuesday Wednesdays,
Mm-hmm.
and there was so much garbage going on. I ended up cutting it down. Uh, yeah, cut it down to just Tuesdays with my main man here. And for
Yeah.
some reason, whenever he does the exclamation weakness in my chat,
That's always the
90% of the
iguanas.
time, it's my one weakness, airbending superhumans with laser lances riding on galactic space iguanas. That's
This is one of
most of
my.
the time.
It's so funny. This is what I always get.
Uh,
Always get. Anyway, but yeah, you dialed it back, and so like, what all was going on? Because it's like I feel like things like just got like busy, like in real life, like as if like the
yeah.
world is opening back up, or like what led you to want to pull back specifically, or was there more to it? It's like this is like our time to talk about that.
Yeah, for me, the biggest thing was one, I ended up getting really sick once, I think.
Mm-hmm.
One handful of times, I ended up having to work with my bank because my bank locked me out. Long, obnoxious story. Um, and then I ended up having a tooth infection at one point. Am I missing something? I feel like there's like two other things.
Man, yeah, you were getting
Mm.
kind of rocked for the last couple months, just with stuff like that. You've been working a lot too. Work has been kind of like overloading you and stuff.
Yeah, work has been ramping up. We ended up going back to our standard processes again. For those who don't know, my main full-time job is an FMLA, family medical leave specialist for a big company that works for other big companies, um, essentially. And we went back to normal processes. It used to be like state of emergency stuff for COVID, so everything was fine-tuned. Just we're pushing out approvals and making sure people are getting what they need without overloading the doctors and things like that. And just example, this last week, my caseload has doubled. It's
Which
been insane.
easy, nothing stressful about, having literally twice as much work as you did the week before, right? Nothing to
Yep.
be afraid of.
Yep. So that was fun.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wanted to make it a point though to still do Tuesdays. I like this is our time to shine. I don't get to talk to you much outside of our streaming stuff. And
Right.
if I lost this, I
That'd be
feel
it'd
like
be a
I'd
big loss.
lose you a little bit more.
Yeah. And it'd be a huge bummer for both of us. Like this has been, well, we've been doing this for
At
how
least
long
since
now?
October, November.
Yeah.
At least.
And it's been consistent. Like unless there's like a holiday, like we have streamed together
Or I'm
every
dying.
Tuesday. Yeah. Or yeah, right. Or like,
Mm,
right. Your head is cracking in half from tooth pain or
yeah.
whatever. But no, this is something that I really value doing. And I think it's been really interesting to kind of like, I started on streaming and this journey a little bit before you did.
Mhm.
But I feel like we started at relatively like roughly the same point. I think I only had like a couple months lead time of when I really
I was
started
gonna say
taking
within the
it
same year.
seriously. Yeah, and it's been fun to have someone who's at roughly like the same point to kind of go through it, and like we've helped each other like troubleshoot
A
tech
lot.
issues, especially audio, especially the fact
Mm,
that like, can we just like stop and take a moment and think about how incredible it is that for how much audio issues we have, we are literally recording a podcast right now. We've come a
right?
long way. We've come a long way. And that's been, it helps ground me and see how far things have come. Actually, Rogers did a really, paid me a really nice compliment. So Rogers Academy is starting to come on as like an editor of sorts for me. We're still hammering out all the details, but everything he sent me so far has been fire emoji.
Simple exposure
And
team.
Simple
What?
Exposure Team, and he went back to some of my old YouTube videos that I posted, and he's like, just the audio journey from last year to now has changed substantially. Like things that I'm really proud of that I made, the audio is dog shit. Like the Bears video.
I love that one.
I love the Bears video. I worked so hard on that, but it sounds like I recorded it underwater. And that
Mm,
just like sours it a little bit for me. So like the fact that now like we're at where we're at, I'm so proud. Like I'm just proud. But I don't want to. I'm
yeah.
not. It's not my turn to take the spotlight.
I
I'll
mean,
get time to talk.
you and I are basically preaching the same thing with that. That was one of my biggest pushes that I hadn't done streaming until I did, is because I felt like I didn't have the stuff for it. And then I started streaming with you and like playing games, and you know what? You're like, you know what? You should just do it too. I'm like, okay. And then that's basically the push.
No, and that it was funny because it's like I had to have the same conversation with myself, and it felt cool to be like when you were like, oh, I don't know, like we spent so much time like prepping and prepping and prepping, and I'm like, listen, man, like I don't care, whatever happens tomorrow, you just have to press go live, and it's probably gonna be like really up, like whatever happens, and it'll be fine, and it was, and I don't know, like how have you felt? How have you felt about streaming? Like, what's your tell me the truth. How do you what do you wish was what do you wish you were doing differently? What do you wish was different? Do you wish anything was different?
I wish there was more time in the day,
For everything.
but
Yeah.
I think that's just everyone in general. I mean, when I'm on, I'd like to think I have a blast. The thing that I really want to do more of is I'd like to actually probably do more of this. Like, I
Mhm.
love the podcast setting. Um, so one of my favorite podcasts, you probably know where I'm going with this, is
Oh,
the
I've heard
Glass
it.
Cannon podcast. I absolutely love what they do. You can definitely hear their evolution of their start, and I want to do something like that. And I think it'd be amazing because
And I don't see
they
why
have a
we
network
couldn't.
now.
Right. And it's wild. See, and I know like what you find really appealing about them is that they do all the tabletop games and stuff, which would make this a perfect segue to talk about that actually. And then I'll come back to my state
I
of the
didn't
stream
think that
because
that's I didn't think that's where this was going. I'm sorry. If I knew that, I would have flip-flopped with you.
No, man, it's all just stream of consciousness. Like
Mm.
we have an outline, but this is like pirate's code. Like it is very much like a loose guideline, and I'm just trying to roll with it here. We'll maybe we'll get better. Maybe we'll improve. Maybe we won't. I don't really care.
Doesn't
I
matter.
probably
It's a
should.
podcast. We're having fun.
That's right. So speaking of Glass Cannon podcast, Glass
Yep.
Cannon show, Glass Cannon network,
Podcast.
podcast.
So on Spotify, it's Glass Cannon Podcast. That's
Okay.
their flagship show. And then they have a whole bunch of other things now, but it started from that.
Right. And they primarily do tabletop games, whether it's Dungeons and Dragons, Pathfinder, Vampire the Masquerade.
Yep.
They do other. They've dabbled into other things,
Yeah.
but
So
yeah,
so what they originally did was Pathfinder. Pathfinder First Edition. That was their thing. They just actually two of them didn't know how to play. And this was the first time half of them got together. There was like 6 of them. So they're just going off of a whim here. But their energy was like 5, 6 best friends just BSing playing a game. And that traveled through that entirety of the thing, and it exploded. They ended up having a game, Androids and Aliens, which is another Paizo Pathfinder-esque, but it's androids and like universe space themed stuff. And then they came out with New Game Who Dis because of
yeah,
yeah, you like that name?
I-
Because of COVID, because they couldn't do their standard shows. Which was basically just some of them getting together with other big names, like Paizo's creator, for example. And they would start test playing. They'd have three episodes per game. So like Vampires and Masquerade, or what are some others?
I can't remember what else they
Delta
touched. but
Green. Delta
Delta
Green is
Green,
big now
okay.
for them, which is like FBI agents of basically Men in Black.
Sure.
They're playing Men in Black, along with a whole bunch of other ones, and that became really huge for them. So they're expanding on that, and then they get to network with other actors and actresses and voice people and other game companies because they're
That's cool.
giving away their items and stuff. And I really like their settings. And you and I, before we'd start, or actually no, just a little bit ago, we were saying like I'd like to keep politics stuff out of this more often than not.
Right.
And that's their thing. Like they stand behind that. Like we're here to entertain you guys, and we want you to kind of forget about everything else and just enjoy what we do to
Which
get
is
away
very
from all the
needed.
crappiness for
Very needed.
like an hour. And if we can give you that joy, we've succeeded. And I just thoroughly stand behind them and what they stand for and what they support and things. So I would love to do more stuff like that.
Absolutely. And I know that with that, you've been, we haven't played a lot of tabletop games together.
One once.
We did
for,
we
a
literally
couple hours.
did one shot, which I had a ton of fun with, but like again, more time in the day. And
Yeah,
that's where my
that
big
one would be a
concern
time
comes in.
commitment.
It'd be a huge time commitment. That'd be the thing where I could like, if I could just do this all the time, that'd be like, fuck yeah, let's play some Dungeons and Dragons. Let's roll some dice. But
You know, as stereotype nerdy as that stuff was when we were kids, like
it's so cool
I
now.
I wish I had picked it up sooner. Like the tabletop stuff is amazing, and you sit around a
just drink
table
beer.
with a bunch of people drinking these and like having tacos or pizza rolls in the back. There's nothing better, man.
Absolutely.
It's amazing.
Absolutely.
And if you like Skyrim customizing your characters, this is like that on steroids times a billion.
Right. The only limit is your imagination at that point.
Pretty much. Pretty much. And if there's something missing, you can talk to your game master person and like customize things homebrew style
Right.
essentially. So if there's not a thing, you can make it a thing within
I
reason.
I have a lot of friends that just do homebrew stuff. Like my brother-in-law is in actually they're hosting their first like Dungeons and Dragons thing for the first time in like a year.
Yep.
And they always do homebrew because they just like kind of like looked through like all the toys that they had when they were kids. So like they're like, oh damn, we're out of like, orc figurines. So they just like put a Pikachu on the field and then they had to like roll stats for the Pikachu. And like I've never seen like what their games look like, but I'm sure they just devolve into absolute chaos. But that's fine. It's
Yeah.
fun. Like, and that stuff can only happen in tabletop stuff. So it's like I'm not a hater. I'm not a hater. I'm just like it's something that I would love to do. Like I would love to
You'd be so good
bring
at it.
I would love to bring like a group of people together, even just for one shots. But the coordination at this point is just so daunting. It's so daunting. Like there are like
Maybe that'll be a Tuesday or a Thursday thing once.
maybe
Because if we, for example, if we did a everyone like talked together ahead of time, created characters, created the story, whatever. Uh, we'll say between a month or two's time frame.
right. I was gonna say plan it out like a
Yeah,
ways,
yeah.
right?
And then we could get a one shot done in a
In a
single
night,
streaming setting.
right?
Easy.
And it'd be and it yeah, capital
Easy.
E, capital E, capital Z, easy. Um, and
But
I don't disagree. I don't disagree. And like I think that is something that I'm gonna use as a segue. I'm gonna use it as a segue because
Do it.
in my state of the stream to talk about what I've been doing, the thing
Yeah.
that I've been trying to work the hardest on in like the recent like month and a half has been networking. And like for a long time I didn't really know what it meant, especially like in this space, but there are some really really amazing, like brilliant, you can call them small streamers if you want, but there are some amazing people who are, you know, my size or larger, that I've been making really really I think good connections with, and those are the type of things that I would love to coordinate to like kind of ingrain that more. And I know that there is interest from those groups, and I don't need to be so vague.
Vague.
I
But
would love to
nothing's set in stone yet. So
right. No, I mean, all that collaboration has not been discussed, but just like as part of like my attempts to grow in what I'm doing and figure out like what works and what doesn't work, or even just to reinforce that I'm actually quote unquote like doing everything right and it's just like waiting for the moment, has come from watching these other people quite a lot. So on Twitter, like I somehow ended up connected with a bunch of people who are on a stream team called Wave Rises. I don't really know anything about Wave Rises. I know it's a large team that is focused on small streamers, but I've gotten connected with a number of them who we've rated on my channel before. So like Fail, I Am
yep.
Loch Ness, Pee Wee Slayhouse, Haley, like all of them are all in the same like stream team. And actually I'm in their Discord, which they did something that I think is really, really brilliant. They just launched a new Discord server. And you know how like I have my Discord, you have your Discord, and we kind of run them separately, and I don't run mine very well. It's like I don't know how to I don't know how to like drive
automate
engagement
things a
in
little
it.
bit.
What they have done is brilliant because they took 5 of them, all of their communities, and they built a single community Discord. And they each have their own separate like sub channels in there where it does like their go live announcements, and like people can opt in or opt out of notifications for each one of them. And then there's also just like a general chat feed. And because they're all good friends, their communities are really interwoven as well. So they have this just like sudden conglomerate of people who recognize each other from each other's chats. And it has all just been self-sustaining. Like I've never really like understood Discord all that well. Like I'm in a lot of these like large channels, and theirs is the most fun I've ever had in a Discord. Just like talking to people and like, I don't know, they must have had some experience like doing this before because it doesn't feel like a first attempt. and it's really, really impressive. And then just like the vibe and the, I guess, community that they've each cultivated in their own. I see what you're typing in the outline here. I'm no dummy.
Yep.
Simple Exposure Discord combining. I've been meaning to suggest that of maybe we need to.
I was making a note because otherwise I'd forget.
Right.
But I think that's a great idea. I love it. Because I mean,
And it fits
our
under
two
the umbrella.
Discords are basically one and the same.
Right. The only notifications I get from yours are when I'm doing stuff in the sphere. So
yeah, because I have all my stuff basically automated to you too.
Right.
Because
which is
you and I
we're a team.
Same umbrella, man.
That's right.
We are a team.
So as part of my state of the stream, a lot of that has been focused on just getting to know these people better and like trying to foster collaboration and that type of thing. Upgrade to platinum. Welcome in, buddy. Which group is this you're talking about? So this is a bunch of small streamers, and they're part of an overarching like stream team called Wave Rises. So if you missed it, we've had, like Loch Ness and Fail and all of them that we've interacted with a lot that have been really cool. And like one of the cool things about streaming is the fact that like I have met some really amazing people, and I can keep name dropping for as long as you want me to. There's some really, really cool people that I would not have made connections with without having started streaming on Twitch. And that's something that I'm really thankful for. So it's something that I want
like
to,
me.
Well, I was stuck with you a long time before. Just tuning in. Sorry, I missed it. No sweat. Upgrade. No, we're recording it live. So that's just how it goes.
And you can catch all the other stuff on the recording.
On youtube.com or anchor.fm. I don't know. We haven't figured out where the audio is going yet. We'll figure it out.
Everywhere
Everywhere that they'll let us put this up, we'll put it up. Yeah. But yeah, so that's been a big thing that I've been trying to lean into. And like I said, like I felt like I never really understood networking. I don't think I ever really understood networking at all. Even when I was like in sales and like doing business in person, I never really got like what was supposed to happen or like how you were supposed to make mutually like beneficial connections. And I think that I'm starting to figure it out, and it's just really fulfilling. So like for me, other than networking, the only other big push that I'm really trying to work on comes back to just making content. Yo, Loch Ness, what is up, brother? If you were lurking, I just said a bunch of nice things about you and all your friends. So I'm really happy you're here. If you missed it, that's okay, because then I don't have to get embarrassed about how sappy I was. I just got in. Thanks, man.
Then you can listen to it on our recordings, and then he can feel embarrassed because you're going to message him a lot.
That's exactly right. I will clip it. Locke, I'll clip it. And I'll send it to you because like I want you all to know how cool I think you all are. There was so much sap. Yeah, there was a lot of sap, Rogers. You're awesome, dude. I appreciate you. It's mutual, dude. It's mutual. But Rogers, to your point of there being so much sap, I need to get sappy about Rogers Academy real quick because I think he is going to be part of the solution for there not being enough time in the world. When there's not enough time, bring in more people that have time. And I think the collaborations that I'm working on with Rogers are going to be phenomenal. So the delegate, that's right. The content creation part of being a content creator has been really, really difficult. Just editing and putting stuff out and like actually making work that I'm proud of and in a timely manner has been almost insurmountable just because I've been locked inside for so long that I have no motivation. Like I just have sad COVID brain, and it makes it really hard to like when I do have time to motivate myself to do stuff. And this is all a long tangent of saying, I just want to post on YouTube more regularly. And that's it. I just want to be better. I just want to be better at this. And sometimes you can't do everything on your own. And that is what I'm trying to figure out is like how to ask for help and then how to facilitate that. And Rogers has been an absolute bro at helping with that already. I sent him one recording, and within well, fuck, within an hour, he sent me a fully made TikTok and was like, do you like this? Is this good? And I was like,
It's
better than
amazing.
it's better than anything I've ever made. So, y'all can go peep that on my TikTok, which I'm going to exclamation mark TikTok right now. You can go watch it right now. It's really funny. And he's working on
Or you
a
could
larger
watch the
video.
Minecraft one.
Or you could watch the Minecraft one and get it to 92,000 views instead of 91.4.
There you go.
But anyway, that's the state of the stream. I'm just trying to get better, and I'm trying to do it in a way that feels authentic to me, which is just by like being a people person. And it's weird to be a people person on the internet. But
somehow it works.
somehow it works, and that's what I'm trying to do. Moving on, should we talk about video games? That's something that we
Sure,
like.
we can talk about video games.
We'll get better at segues. That was a pretty hard. Sorry for the whiplash in chat, but we're going to talk about video games now. And one that I want to talk about first that I actually don't know much about, other than it exists, is the Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance remaster that was like a surprise drop. Like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago? When did I send you stuff about that?
Like I tried to like Google it a little bit ahead of time too,
Yeah.
and most of it was just bringing me back to the old stuff.
Yeah.
I know 2 pieces of useful information about this game.
Do tell.
Number one, it's on a handful of consoles: Xbox One, PS4, and the Nintendo Switch. And it's going to be $29.99.
Very good Googling.
Yep.
Let me elaborate on that. So, Rogers
That's what I
Academy.
found.
Rogers Academy. Let me alleviate your fears. They are going to add online co-op, and they are going to do a PC release, and I think that those are going to coincide. So they're going to get it released on PC, likely on Steam would be my guess. They said summer of 2021, which I'm thrilled for because I only want to play it on PC because it's just easier at this point in my life.
Honestly, a master race, unfortunately.
Right. PC is just kind of like, I was a holdout, but it's kind of where it's at. So with Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance, to contextualize it, also the new Dark Alliance is next month. Yes, there is the new Dark Alliance as well. We'll talk about that as well. But the remaster is the one that I care about, and it's for multifaceted reasons. One, it goes back to that old school action RPG dungeon crawler, a la like Diablo, that we actually have very special memories with. Yep, top down, isometric view. Like, I want to play Baldur's Gate. I love the PS2 games. Well, Upgrade, that's exactly what it is. Like, this is a remaster of the PS2 game. And what I'm hoping is because they're doing a remaster of this, so Baldur's Gate, and then Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 2 were built in the Snowblind engine, and they were featured like there was like Dungeons and Dragons universe, really popular, like randomly generated maps, kind of like loot dungeon crawlers. In that same engine was made probably mine and Echo's like favorite game, at least of our childhoods, if not maybe all time, Champions of Norrath, which
it's definitely up there. That is
definitely up there,
very high on the list. And it was a sleeper game.
Yeah.
Apparently, not a lot of people knew about it.
And well, see, and it's interesting because like the few people that I've brought it up to, so Capper, I guess, played it all the time as a kid as well, and he was like, if they remake Champions of Norrath, they're gonna get all my money. And Rogers, thanks for posting that link in chat. That's why you got that VIP gem to be able to do that. But if this was made like Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 were made in the same engine. And the only difference is that Champions of Norrath takes place in like the EverQuest universe instead of D&D. So theoretically, they should be able to remake Champions of Norrath. And if they do that, I will buy it 4 times. Bet. Like if they can remake that, I'm gonna be hyped. Like I'll get Baldur's Gate when it comes out, but I don't have the same like nostalgia factor with it.
We didn't grow up with that one.
We
But
didn't grow up
it's
on that,
close
but
to what we had.
I think it would essentially scratch the same itch. Like I think at a glance they would almost be unrecognizable. So that's something that I'm just really excited for. I know that there have been some troubles with the release. Like the Switch release was really, really. Like the Switch release was supposed to come out at the same time PS4 and Xbox did, and it got delayed like upwards of like a month. Upgrade. You played
Nintendo kind of
Champions
reminds me
too?
of Apple, though.
Yeah.
Like the other two, it's their platforms kind of remind me of, well, Microsoft is Xbox, so beside the point. But they're bigger box. They're a little easier to like finagle. Nintendo and Apple, they have their own box that you can't really go into. They don't really go out of. And Spooky disappeared on me for a little
Sorry.
bit.
There's a reason.
But I was wondering when one of those would be around.
Right. So we're gonna crack open another cold one in the chat really quick.
I no longer have any nitros, my friend. Sorry.
What are you drinking?
I have my Arnie's.
Ooh, very nice, very nice. This is my last Rolling Rock. We're back to PBR Tall Boys on Thursday, chat. So,
Oh boy,
I've played so many of this style of game. I loved almost all of them, dude. Upgrade next whenever I can see you in person again. Maybe we'll have to play through some champions because, the games are fire.
So, before COVID, before Spooky ended up moving, our goal.
Rip.
Yeah, rip. Our goal was to do like an annual, we get together for a weekend and just no life champions.
Play through it cover to cover.
Yep. So last time we beat it on, did we just do normal or did we go all the way through?
We played it through on normal difficulty all the way through, and then we got to Act 2 on the next difficulty level up.
Okay.
Before we were like, we should probably sleep and you should probably go home.
That's fair.
But I remember that game being so much longer. And if I'm really smart, we're gonna intercut footage of champions while we're talking about this. But like that game, man. Echo, we need to make a video about it. Speaking of making videos, we need to make a video about how we discovered the duplication glitch. Every time we talk about champions, I talk about how we discovered this duplication glitch of our own accord. And
because back then, internet wasn't a thing, and the only way we could get stuff is through the magazines. But the magazines didn't tell us anything because it was all like Game Informer, where it's just like, hey, this is the review of the game.
Right, and like here's the new stuff coming out.
Guide, but there was no strategy guide for this. As far as
actually,
I knew.
fun fact about Game Informer, which is one of my favorite gaming publications. You know, whatever. The first issue I ever had of Game Informer was the Champions of Norrath issue, which I stole from your room. Yeah.
You stole from my room. How dare you?
Well, you gave it to me. Stealing is a little aggressive because you were absolutely like, "Hey, I read this magazine." That's what you sounded like when you were a little kid. You're like, "Hey, I read this magazine. You should look at it too." And I said, "Neat." And I think I still have it somewhere. I think I still have it somewhere, and I would actually like to get it framed because it just means that much to me. Like that was like my introduction to like gaming and journalism. Shut up, Spooky.
You're welcome.
Upgrade. I remember when you did that. Because I went and hung out with you guys. So Upgrade is one of my brothers-in-law, not married. But him and his older brother, when they got together, one of the last times pre-COVID, they sat down and they played through Perfect Dark and Perfect Dark Zero front to back in couch co-op, which like couch co-op needs to be more of a thing. Couch co-op needs to come back, man. Like
it's so underrated, and it's just everyone's like, oh, everyone has their own console now. And everyone has online and COVID now.
Right. And you can all pay for our you can all pay for our online subscription. You can all pay for Xbox Live or PlayStation Network or whatever.
Yeah.
So dumb. Yeah, super nostalgia. Absolutely. Yeah, play just and like Echo, we'll find a way. We'll find a way to do it. We always do. I mean, there's no way for us to play multiplayer on the PS2 version of Champions, which I have. But I have been really tempted to play it on stream. and I was wondering if maybe you'd want to at least sit in on it and talk through it. I don't
Kind
know.
of like me with Oblivion back
When
in the
we
day.
play Oblivion, exactly. just have you riding in the sidecar and make something happen.
Dude,
Maybe.
I'd be happy with either of those. Like, one of my favorite childhood memories of us is just me sitting next to you, you playing your parents' like noob tube computer box, and
Hmm.
we just sit there and play Oblivion for days. And I just watch him and be like, "Hey,
Yeah.
go do that. Go kill that guy to
And
make
I
your character look like this."
and I
It was
thought
great.
I was a pretty good sport. Like I was behind the wheel, but I was not like the sole. It's not like I was just doing whatever I wanted. Like I felt like
I was the backseat driver,
it was probably the most collaborative experience I've ever had. And it's just playing like a dumb
especially
game,
on a
right?
single player game.
Right. Incredible.
uh,
Rogers Academy. Champions average time to beat, according to how long to beat, 16 to 25 hours. I miss when games were required to be longer than 8 hours. Dude, I miss when games were required to be under like 20 hours. Like the fact that we could beat champions in a sitting when we did that felt so refreshing because I don't think I've played a single game in the last like 5 years that's new that hasn't been just like bloated. Again, I digress. I don't really want to get into that because I want to talk about a different game,
mhm.
which we'll actually be playing after we finish recording the podcast today. Which for me, it came out of nowhere. So, Echo, I don't know how much you know about this, but 0 Hour hard cut to gameplay for YouTube. 0 Hour is an indie game made by a studio in Bangladesh. They've developed the entire thing under COVID, and I think it's like 12 people made this. And fittingly enough, they've been selling it for $12 on Steam. And
Which is amazing.
it's like a slow-paced tactical shooter. Think like old school Rainbow Six, like terrorist hunts, but with like an element of, I guess Capper put it a good way. I've been playing it a lot with Capper, and he said that he's like, this is almost more of a puzzle game than a shooter because for the different missions that you can play, because Echo, I don't think you've played any of it yet,
Nope.
right? Okay.
I've just installed it, ready to go.
Right. So you'll learn tonight. So it's like the missions all have like a different thing. You know, it's like, you know, it's usually really simple. It's like find this, save the hostages, eliminate all of the terrorists, right? But like everything's randomly generated like within the structure of the building. So the map never changes for whatever mission you play, but the like furniture and like litter and like where everyone's placed gets remixed every time as just like a really simple thing to like kind of keep it fresh. And
I like that. That makes a world of a
yeah,
difference.
and it's really interesting because so it's like you move really slowly through it. It's a first person shooter, really quick time to kill, really like weighty guns and like slow moving, like leans and like you know trying to like peek under doors with like cameras and all that kind of thing.
Stealth ops.
I don't even know if I'm doing it justice, but it's like it's very slow, very tactical, and feels almost old school in that way. Like it is tough as like I tried playing it alone, and it's like almost impossible to play alone. But it has a PvP game mode, which plays a lot like Rainbow Six Siege, and then a PvE terrorist hunt slash different scenario type of thing. And mind you, again, upgrade. Thank you for the hydrate or dihydrate. He could tell I was getting hoarse. Solemn cheers. This game is $12 regularly, and I think that's a steal. Currently, and until May
29th,
29th,
I think.
yeah, May 29th, it is on sale for 50% off, which is absurd. So I bought it for myself. I bought it for Echo. I bought it for Capper. Upgrade, if you had accepted my friend request on Steam, I would have bought it for you too, because I think it's a game that you would really like as well. Again, I digress. I am just blown away at like how well made this game is for how small the team is, the conditions they're working under,
And the
how many can
cost.
be in a Dub says how many can be in a party? 5. So you can play with up to 5 people. And that would be best for playing the PvP mode, which I don't think we'll do tonight, but it's cool. It's cool. It's almost like, I
It's
don't know.
it sounds to me like it's terrorist hunt on Rainbow Six, but you don't have to worry about what game mode you're playing on. You
Right.
can just kill the or not kill the hostages, just kill the bad guys and make sure that your there hostages.
There are hostages, yes. And actually, it's funny that you say you led with kill the hostages because man,
Sometimes it happens.
well, yeah. I mean,
You have
Capper is
to
good.
wait.
Capper's good at that game, but he has definitely been like, I killed the last terrorist by shooting through the hostage. He didn't like shoot over him. He just goes, pew, and then had to figure out if the bullets could go through people, and they do.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's sick, and like I don't even know how I heard about it. Like all of a sudden, it just popped up on my radar. It's not really gaining a following yet, but I think that this might be one of those
It
like
will.
bleeding edge scenarios. And if it doesn't, I think that's going to be a real shame because the developers are making updates constantly. The game is a little janky. Like I'll admit, like there is some questionable things that happen in that game where you're just kind of like, was that reasonable? But also, it was $6. Rogers just bought it. Man, we sponsor me, Studio M2. Like M7 sponsored the stream. M7. Thank you, Rogers. Honestly, like straight up, like I'll advocate for this game because like from everything that I've experienced with it, one, it was absolutely worth the money. I've played 9 hours of it and I paid $6. All right. Like that's a return
That's
on
less
investment.
than $1 an hour.
Right.
And
And it's
counting.
just it's really cool and they're going to keep making it better, which is
And the more
brilliant.
people are buying the game, the better it's going to get.
The better it's going to get cuz they'll have more bandwidth and more money to make it happen. Like Echo, you never played Call of Duty Modern the most recent Modern Warfare Call of Duty, right?
I haven't touched a Call of Duty game since Black Ops 3.
That's fine. The only reason I ask is to help contextualize this because in the campaign of Modern Warfare, there's a really intense mission called Kill House, I think, and like it essentially plays as like the Call of Duty version of this game because you go into a house and you have like night vision on, you like cut the lights in the building and you're just moving really slowly, clearing like room by room. And this game does that, but like the entire time. And like that is probably the best mission I've played in Call of Duty in over a decade. And now they just like there's just a game with more realistic
Devoted to
mechanics devoted to that.
That's
it's
why
really-
I love Rainbow Six. Is
Right.
at least the OG one, like the new one or
Siege,
the newest one.
Newest, yeah.
It's-
See the one that'll be the
I like
Rainbow
it.
Six forever.
But it tried to enhance what or innovate something that didn't need innovating.
Right.
We need terrorist hunt. We need them to just allow us to pick our particular game modes, and this game I think hits that nail on the head. From what
Right.
I've seen, it gets the job done that what we were originally wanting.
And the only thing that I wish that I could pull from Rainbow Six Siege and put in this game, which I know will not happen because they are a small team and they just don't have the like technology or bandwidth to make it happen, would be the destructible environments. That's the only thing that I would, because in Siege, the destructibility is awesome, but it's also a hero shooter now, and it just doesn't do it for me. Rogers makes a great point. He's like, cheap games with early access, I think, get love and support over the long term because they listen to the player base rather than getting a $60 game right out of the gate and it's a broken product that has to get patched over and over again, like Rainbow Six Siege, like Pick Your Poison. Like there's so many instances of that. Like I think of like how many of these indie games that are super inexpensive are blowing up. Like Valheim, perfect.
It was
Perfect example. Huge. I had not heard a peep about that game, and then next thing I know, they're like, we have sold 5 million copies, and it's amazing. It's still in early access, and like
You know what's
game
funny about
already
that?
is great.
I don't know how, but Sloppy knew about it ahead of time.
He does that
He is
sometimes.
constantly on the lookout for new games. Like he is a game fiend. So he knows about all this stuff probably a week or two before we do, minimum,
It's
in
funny because
most circumstances.
I always see him on Discord, and I always look at what he's playing, and I'm like, oh, I bet I'm going to hear about that game in a little bit. What
Do
was the
you
most
really?
recent? Yeah, no, there's been a couple times
Oh,
like
that's
when
funny.
I tried to get you back into Zomboid, it's because Zomboid was blowing up on Twitch at the time, and I
Yeah,
look over on Discord and he's playing
he was
fucking Project
playing it.
Zomboid. Yeah, yeah, and I was just like, see,
Yeah.
he knows.
He started playing it before you had even, it sounded like, thought of it. At
Right.
least
Zomboid had been sitting on
talking
my
to me.
Steam wish list. Yeah, Zomboid had been sitting on my Steam wish list since 2013.
Actually, same. It was
And I
sitting
was
there for a
just
long
and I
time.
and I was just reminded about its existence because I like watched like Clean play it on Twitch or whatever, and I was like, damn, this looks like fun.
And he was nice enough to just buy it for me, I guess. He bought like a 4-pack.
Oh yeah, yep. They've always had that 4-pack too. I think they had that 4-pack before there was multiplayer in Zomboid, so they were thinking. Dubs. Ubisoft is changing to free to play now too with Heartland and such. The Valhalla DLC came out and it's sick, dude. I need to re-download Valhalla now that I've made some
You just
changes
can't do
to.
it. You can't do it because you just couldn't pet that fox.
I couldn't pet that fox. Chat made me uninstall, and
Dude, that was so funny, and you haven't uploaded it since.
nope, I haven't because it's a big game, and my fucking solid state is a Call of Duty hard drive right now. One of these days,
Crash
I'm just gonna
that.
I'm gonna uninstall it because it's getting too big. It's getting too big. I'd rather play Apex. I'd rather play all these other things. Ghost of Tsushima lets you pet the fox. Sorry, I'm stopping this. I'm stopping the recording right now. We're just gonna go buy that.
So what
If they
is
put
that?
Ghost of Tsushima was like the last like big AAA PS4 release. So like it
Mm,
came out just after Last of Us 2. So Ghost of Tsushima is like it's like samurai game. It's like the samurai Assassin's Creed that we always wanted, but it's not from Ubisoft. It's from Sucker Punch Interactive, which made Infamous and made
okay.
oh what else they did. They're a first party PlayStation group. I'm holding out hope that Ghost of Tsushima is going to be put on PC because we have Horizon Zero Dawn on PC and we've got
I love
Days
Zero Dawn.
Gone and Days Gone just got put on Steam as well. And I actually I wanna buy Days Gone again so I can play it on PC.
I've been debating about getting Horizon again because that's one of the few storyline games I've actually been able to play through.
I forget you're not big on more like narrative. You
Mm-mm.
like emergent gameplay. You like stuff where things just can happen and you have like full control over what's going on in the world. Rogers
Skyrim is
doesn't
a
think
perfect
Tsushima's
example.
gonna
I love them.
yeah. Rogers doesn't think Tsushima's gonna come to PC. I think you're wrong. I hope you're
One
wrong.
can hope.
I hope you're wrong. Locking down Insomniac, Sucker Punch, and Naughty Dog. Yeah, I mean, they're not locking down Bend Studios or anything. That's interesting.
Hmm.
Echo, I'm gonna do one final segue for us because we're coming up on an hour and a half of recording this thing, and I
Told
don't
you this
know,
would go fast.
dude. Time flies. Time flies. So the last thing I want to talk about kind of goes back into the state of the stream and just like our overall creation sphere and goals, which is what are our goals for the next month? This is also something I'm trying to change for myself is I want to be better at articulating what I'm trying to accomplish and what I'm hoping for, and I'm also trying to set goals that are actually within my power. You know, I don't want to say, well, I'd love to have, 600 followers and 100 subs because I don't have control over that. People are going to do what they want to do, and I want them to do that. I want people just to come in and lurk and do whatever if that's the case. But like, I'm trying to
Yeah.
think of what I have control over and what I can do to make myself feel good about what we're trying to accomplish. And all that good stuff. So I'll let you start. What are your goals for the next month?
Okay.
And this doesn't have to be streaming related. It can be photography related.
Anything.
It can be trying to touch some grass. I don't know, whatever.
I want to lick a blade of grass for 12 hours.
Wow. I'll have what he's having, chat. I'll have what he's having.
No, uh, well, you touched on part of it. I want to start getting back out there and doing my photography stuff more. I want to be able to fill my print shop to the max. Like, I want good images that people will enjoy. And that goes for whether it's print shop or whether it's Facebook and Instagram and just any of that. And people need to stop talking about toes.
No, man. I am the man. Feel the grass between your toes. That's the most
Mm,
normal toes thing that I've seen in my chat in months. So
that's
God
that's why I had to
bless.
mention that.
Yeah.
And something else that you probably would guess, it deals with tabletop stuff. I just want to learn Pathfinder better. I want to be able to create a ton of different characters. One of my favorite things in life is just character
Character
creation.
creation. Yep.
Doesn't matter
Through
what
through
game
and
it
through.
is, if I can create a character for it, I want a billion characters. And I have my favorite guy here, Nathaniel Coin. Just some old man. You've seen
That
Boomy
name
from
is
Last
so
Avatar.
yeah, yeah. That name is so
Um,
fire, dude.
Nathaniel Coin.
Yeah.
Uh, just some really old hunched over guy that starts as actually it's spelt differently.
How do you spell
It's
it?
Coyne.
Coyn. Coin. Oh, yes, the coin. All right, so it's spelled like this. So, but I spelled Nathaniel right.
Yeah, that's standard. Um,
Nathaniel Coin, like that.
yeah.
Okay.
Um, so he's a druid, and he's an old man that ended up getting uh uh not segregated. His
Separated.
guild his guild forced him out.
Shunned.
What's shunned? I'm
Fired.
terrible with words, friends.
Segregated.
Um, I said not segregated,
Not
but it's
segregated.
along the same lines. Um, but so I have
Exiled. That's the word.
exiled. That's the word.
Yeah.
Thank you, JV.
Yeah.
And I'm working on a witch tiefling, which is like
What's a
a
tiefling?
devil. So tieflings are like, imagine like basically like a red-skinned person with like horns and like a tail, kind of like a half demon human hybrid. Um,
Hot.
and she's a witch, and so her thing is to like float above everyone else and just like debuff all the enemies. And I have a background story for her that I'm building up towards. And all of these characters that I'm building currently, what I'm trying to do um, is have them set. They're all dealing with this one guild, and she's in a different world. Is Lander or something? Um, that my Pathfinder guys are working on right now. They're like, hey, you should roll up this character for this completely different universe. But you
All
could bring
right.
Nathaniel Coin if you want. I'm like, I need to make something new. But I have a way to connect those two together. And I'm going to keep doing that with all my other characters. And I want to
I like that
build
you're like
a community for
you're
this.
building the Echo Cave tabletop universe. It's like your own
Yes,
Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like everyone is interconnected and related, right?
that's what I'm going to end up doing by the end of it. And they're all going to have stories that interconnect. And I think that's going to be really fun. Even if they're on different planes of existence, it's still going to happen. Because tabletops, you can do whatever you want,
That's
as long as it
awesome.
makes for a good story.
That seems like a good goal, like a good like reasonable goal for the next month. Is just like keep building that out, keep playing games, keep working on photography. I like that. I like
Yeah.
that. What am I
How
gonna
about
do?
you, man?
What am I gonna do? Well, I've alluded to it a little bit, but I am gonna make an effort, to be a little bit more consistent on, putting a little bit longer form content. Obviously, I have Rogers Academy helping me, but I have also been working on highlights and everything on my side as well. He's just more practiced, so he's a lot faster, which is appreciated. But the plan is I want to start getting some stuff onto YouTube that is, a couple minutes long. The Billy Chronicles, which was my like long form Escape from Tarkov series, where I was trying to like show a beginner's perspective. I was struck with the realization that I should make it, very late into the wipe cycle. So I might pick that back up whenever the game wipes, which will probably be like late summer.
I was wondering about that.
Yeah.
Because you had like 3 episodes in or something, and I heard
Yep.
that the wipe was either coming or it happened.
Nope.
Um,
There are no current plans for the wipe. I really think that the wipe will either be in July or August, from what it sounds like. Which is fine because I've actually just been having fun just playing Tarkov when I can. And it's all good. But when things wipe is when I'm going to try to make more of a concentrated effort, where I'll both do recorded sessions and then I'll probably also, kind of like what we're doing here, film it live during the stream and post that as well, just so that I can be more consistent with it and I have time blocked out for playing games and recording during stream days. So I'll find some time to do that. Other than that, even just like doing highlight videos, just something, just so I can get more practiced at editing, whether they're 3 to 10 minutes long, whatever it shakes out to be, as long as it feels right. I just want to be making stuff that I'm proud of and actually completing things. That's a big thing. Is like I have so many hundreds of half-baked projects and videos and ideas in my mind that I just need to like do anything. I just want to like complete things and post them. The one thing I have been good at is I have been posting on TikTok at least once a week, TikTok/YouTube Shorts once a week. And I'm going to continue to maintain that. Basically something always happens during a stream that I can easily grab and do. So I just want to keep doing that.
Yeah.
Outside of this sphere of like, making stuff and trying to be entertaining. The other thing is I'll be going home in a week. So for first week of June, I'll be going home. I get to see you, which will be awesome at our buddy Rex's wedding. And my goal with that really is I just want to see my parents. It's been
a while.
coming up on a year since I've seen them last. My dad has officially beat cancer. He got the word back earlier this week. Last week. He got the word back last week that the scan came back clear, and they met with an oncologist today, and like things are looking good. So I want to celebrate that. Finally I can go back and do that. Rogers, thank you for the hydrate or dihydrate.
Cheers.
L'chaim. Siri, buy camouflage suit to sit in Spooky's bushes. No, sir. Yeah,
that's my job.
So it's like really, I want to work on stuff here, and then I just want to see my family, man. Like it's been a long 14 months. I miss my friends. I miss my family. So I just want to let myself unplug and not think about work and frankly, not even think about all this and just like enjoy those moments. And I think that'll be really great. So that's my big goal.
I think that's a great goal.
Just try to be a good son, beat that stupid cancer. Yeah. Can I get some, no one on the podcast will be able to appreciate this, but if I can get some spooky pogs and hypes in chat for cancer, I would love that. That'd make me feel nice. Thank you, Echo.
And at this point, we should also advise that we do have explicit stuff on here sometimes. So
what? Huh? Content warning? No, I may go in and bleep all this stuff out. We'll see. But with all of that, I would say this is kind of like a stopping point. I don't actually know how to end one of these things. I guess for future context, Echo and I are trying to make the S.E.M.P podcast a monthly occurrence. And that mileage may vary. If there's a lot going on, maybe we do it twice a month. Maybe we do it less. I just want this to be an enjoyable thing, and I want it to be something that we're consistent with. Yeah. Thanks for being a S.E.M.P listener, my simps. That's a good sign off. That's a good sign off, Rogers. I like that. Okay, we'll adopt that. So I think to end things, I gotta thank you guys for being loyal S.E.M.P simps. I'm Spooky Deer.
This is Echo Cave.
Hey, there we go. I was gonna have to give you a nudge. I was like, does he know what I'm doing? And just thank you all for being here. For everyone who's here live while we're recording this. Wow, that's like pretty amazing.
I hope you guys have enjoyed this as much as we have.
Yeah, you exemplify a podcast. It's because we're two white men talking about things for a while, that's right. And that's what we're gonna keep. That's what we're gonna keep doing. And I appreciate all of you. What we're gonna do next is end this podcast. The podcast is over. Hard cut.